This is the Amazon rainforest, and this is it being destroyed for human desires. 17% of this beautiful area of biodiversity has already been lost forever, with a further 17% degraded and another 38% at risk due to prolonged droughts. It's now entering a critical stage of survival, and the world needs to act before it's too late. Scientists have recently warned in a new study from a Brazil university that the Amazon rainforest could hit a tipping point by 2050 as a result of water stress, land clearance, and climate disruption. Researchers concluded that up to 47% of Amazonian forests are at risk of collapsing by the mid-century. This is grim news. The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest, spanning 6.9 square kilometers across 9 countries, and it covers around 40% of the South American continent. It makes up half of the planet's remaining tropical forests. It's home to around 3 million species of plants and animals, as well as 1.6 million indigenous people. The forest is also an important regulator of weather cycles, owing to its cooling effect and its contribution to rainfall and moisture supply in the region. The Earth has a number of natural thresholds that, if breached, could cause temperatures to spiral out of control and trigger devastating domino effects for ecosystems and people. Amazon dieback is one of these, alongside the collapse of the big ice sheets in Greenland and the West Antarctic, the death of coral reefs in warmer seas, and the collapse of an important Atlantic Ocean current. The first thing many of us think when discussing the Amazon's destruction is deforestation, but that's not straightforward or clear. Deforestation actually fell within the Brazilian Amazon by 22% by the end of July 2023, thanks to influence and direction from the new Brazilian president Lula. However, neighbouring nation Peru recently loosened restrictions on deforestation, while Bolivia's forest clearing has increased by over 250% in the last 8 years, primarily driven by agricultural expansion. Brazil appeared to be winning their own battle, but the entire war is being lost. The conversion of this dense forest into pastures for cattle and area for farming is clearly a major driver in the Amazon's pending fall, fueled by factors such as the development of roads and an increase in population. These roads facilitate access to previously unreachable areas and lead to habitat fragmentation, effectively opening the floodgates for further rainforest exploitation. Economically, the lure of the rainforest's rich resources, including timber and minerals, adds to the strain. The expansion of cattle ranching and the cultivation of crops like soybeans, coffee, maize, and cotton, coupled with illegal and illegal logging activities, underscore the intertwined nature of political and economic factors in the deforestation equation. Projects like the Trans-Amazonian Highway have been instrumental in accelerating deforestation, cutting through previously untouched swathes of rainforest and paving the way for further exploitation. Furthermore, the demarcation process, which officially recognises indigenous territories, is essential for the protection of these lands. Though they represent only 5% of the world's population, indigenous people protect 80% of global biodiversity. In Brazil, government-recognised indigenous lands experience significantly less loss of native vegetation than compared to private areas, demonstrating the effectiveness of indigenous stewardship in forest conservation. This highlights the crucial role indigenous communities play in the preservation of the Amazon and the need for increased support and recognition of their rights and efforts in the fight against deforestation. But forest clearing isn't the only issue in the Amazon. Research by World Weather Attribution has brought to light another stark reality. The likelihood of severe droughts in the Amazon has dramatically increased, up to 30 times more likely due to global warming. This has resulted in some of the lowest water levels on record, impacting the entire Amazon basin across Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela and Peru, where many of these countries rely on hydropower for electricity. The convergence of reduced rainfall and higher temperatures has heightened the severity of these droughts, causing ecological disruption and significant humanitarian crisis. This loss of waterways has also led to the demise of hundreds of endangered dolphins, and millions who rely on these waterways for food and transport have faced dire consequences. The droughts have created conditions ripe for forest fires, further intensified by logging activities. Even more research has shown that this increasing frequency and severity of droughts and forest fires drastically alter the habitat, which puts numerous species at risk. Between 2001 and 2019, fires impacted a substantial rainforest area, affecting an estimated 95% of Amazonian species, including those listed as threatened. The degradation of this habitat not only leads to the loss of these species, but it disrupts the ecological balance essential for the Amazon's health. This biodiversity loss clearly indicates the broader ecological crisis unfolding in the rainforest, underscoring the urgent need for global action to mitigate climate change and protect one of the Earth's most vital ecosystems. Additionally, the carbon stored in the Amazon's vegetation and soil is colossal. It's a critical component of the world's carbon stock, and it's at risk of being released due to the forest die-off from droughts and fires. This potential release of carbon could accelerate global warming, pushing the climate past a tipping point of no repair. But what is the fix? It's to stop deforestation, cut global greenhouse gas emissions, and implement international policies to further restrict future degradation of the Amazon rainforest. It sounds like the impossible. There are many countries, there are many leaders, many companies, all with varying interests. But action simply needs to be taken now, or it's going to be too late. We must understand the challenges, embrace the conservation efforts, and work together globally to ensure the survival of this vital ecological treasure. Thanks for watching, please consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.